She laid bricks to pay her boyfriend's school fees. What she didn't know was that every sacrifice she made was feeding a betrayal so deep it would shatter her world. Hey besties, it's us again with another amazing story. Subscribe to our channel and comment your location. Okay, let's enjoy this story. The hot Lagos sun was beating down on David's head as he stepped off the bus. He looked around at the tall buildings and the busy roads filled with cars and people rushing everywhere. This was nothing like his village. Nothing at all. David reached into his pocket and felt the money there. 100 naira. That was all he had left. His throat was dry. The journey from the village had been long and hot. He needed water. He walked down the street, his bag heavy on his shoulder. Everything looked so big and strange. People were shouting. Cars were honking. Nobody looked at him. Nobody cared that he was new here. Nobody cared that he had nowhere to go. Then he saw her, a young girl about his age standing by the roadside with a bucket full of sachet water. She was calling out to people passing by. Pure water, cold pure water. David walked up to her. How much is one? 20 naira, she said. David pulled out his 100 naira note. It was wrinkled and old. He handed it to her. The girl took the money and looked at David's face. She looked at his eyes. She looked at the way his shoulders were bent down like he was carrying the whole world on his back. She looked at the sadness in his face. Wait, she said. She gave him back his 100 naira. Take it. The water is free. David was surprised. Free? But why? Just take it, the girl said. Her voice was soft, kind. You look like you need it more than I need the money. David took the sachet water and tore it open with his teeth. He drank it all in one go. The water was cold and sweet. It was the best water he had ever tasted. Thank you, David said. Thank you so much. Where are you going? The girl asked. She was still looking at him, studying him. I just arrived in Lagos, David said. I came to find work. I finished secondary school. I want to make money so I can go to university. Where are you staying? David looked down at his feet. I don't know yet. I don't have anywhere to stay. The girl nodded slowly. I have been watching you since you came down from that bus. You have been walking up and down this street for almost 1 hour. You look lost. You look like you need help. David felt tears trying to come to his eyes, but he pushed them back. He was a man. Men don't cry. But this girl was right. He was lost. He was scared. He had no plan. He had nowhere to go. My name is Favor, the girl said. I am 18 years old. I am an orphan. I live with my friend Blessing. We share a room together. My name is David, he said. I am also 18. Favor looked at her bucket of water. Then she looked back at David. Wait here for me. Don't move. I will come back. Where are you going? I need to go and ask my friend Blessing if you can stay with us, just for now, until you find something. David could not believe what he was hearing. You want me to stay with you, but you don't even know me. I know you need help, Favor said. And I know what it feels like to have nowhere to go. Just wait here. I am leaving my bucket with you, so you know I will come back. She left the bucket at David's feet and ran down the street. David stood there holding his bag. He looked at the bucket. Why would this girl help him? Why would she trust him? He could run away with her bucket and all her water. He could sell it and keep the money. But he didn't. He just stood there and waited. 15 minutes later, Favor came running back. She was breathing hard, smiling. Blessing said, yes, you can stay with us. David felt his heart jump. Really? Are you sure? Yes, come on, let's go home. Favor picked up her bucket and David followed her through the streets of Lagos. They walked for 20 minutes until they reached a small house with many rooms. Favor opened one door and inside was a small room with 2 mattresses on the floor. A girl was sitting on one of the mattresses. She stood up when they came in. You must be David, she said. I am Blessing. Thank you, David said. Thank you for letting me stay here. I promise I will not be trouble. I will find work soon. and I will leave." "Don't worry about that now," Blessing said. "You look tired. Rest first." That night, David lay on the floor on a mat that Favor gave him. He looked up at the ceiling. He could not believe his luck. These two girls did not know him, but they helped him. They gave him a place to sleep. They gave him hope. The next morning, David woke up early and went out to look for work. He walked from street to street. He asked at shops. He asked at building sites. He asked everywhere. But nobody had work for him. Everyone said the same thing. "No work, come back another time." Days turned into weeks. Every day, David went out looking for work. Every day he came back with nothing. Favor and Blessing did not complain. They shared their food with him. They let him stay. One evening, David came back and saw Favor and Blessing sitting on the floor with books in front of them. They were reading and writing. "What are you doing?" David asked. "We are studying for JAMB," Blessing said. "We want to write the exam this year and go to university." David sat down next to them. He looked at the books. Mathematics, English, chemistry, physics. "You want to go to university?" he asked. "Yes," Favor said. "We have been saving money for 2 years. We want to study. I want to be a teacher." Blessing wants to be a pharmacist. David picked up the mathematics book. He opened it and read the questions. They were not hard. He could answer them all. "Do you know the answer to this one?" Blessing asked, pointing at a question. David looked at it. "Yes. The answer is 45. You do it like this." He took the pen and showed them how to solve the problem. Favor and Blessing looked at each other with big eyes. "How did you do that so fast?" Favor asked. "I was very good at mathematics in secondary school," David said. "I was also good at physics and chemistry." From that day, David started helping Favor and Blessing with their studies. Every evening after he came back from looking for work, they would sit together and read. David would explain the hard questions. He would show them tricks to remember things. He would make the difficult things easy to understand. As the days went by, Favor found herself looking at David more and more. She liked the way he smiled when he was explaining something. She liked the way his eyes lit up when he talked about science. She liked the way he was patient when she did not understand something. David also found himself looking at Favor. He liked the way she laughed. He liked the way she cared about people. He liked the way she had helped him when he had nothing. But neither of them said anything. They just kept studying together. One day, Favor asked David a question that had been on her mind. "David, why are you not writing JAM this year? You are so intelligent, more intelligent than both of us. You could pass easily." David put down his book and sighed. "I came to Lagos to make money first. My family has no money. I need to work and save before I can think about university, maybe next year or the year after." That night, Favor could not sleep. She kept thinking about David, about how smart he was, about how he was wasting time looking for work when he should be in school. She thought about the money she and Blessing had saved. She thought about her own dreams of going to university. Then she made a decision, a big decision that would change everything. The next morning, Favor told David, "I am going to register you for JAMB. You will write the exam with us." David laughed. "Favor, stop joking. Where will I get money for that?" "I will pay for it," Favor said. "I will use my savings." David stopped laughing. "What? No. That is your money. You and Blessing have been saving for 2 years. That is for your school." "You are more intelligent than me," Favor said. "You can become a doctor. You can help many people. I can write JAM another year." "No, Favor, I cannot take your money." "David, please, let me do this for you. You are going to be a great doctor one day. I can see it. Please." David looked at Favor's face. He saw the determination in her eyes. He saw that she really meant it. "If you do this for me," David said slowly, "I promise you, when I finish school and become a doctor, I will train you. I will pay for everything. And then, We will get married. Favor felt her heart beat faster. Married? Yes, David said. I will marry you, Favor. I promise. Favor smiled. It was the biggest smile David had ever seen. She paid for David's jam registration. She paid for his textbooks. She encouraged him every day. David and Blessing studied together every evening. They took the exam on the same day. Weeks later, the results came out. Both David and Blessing had passed. David got admission to study medicine. His dream was coming true. Blessing got admission to study pharmacy. They were going to the same university. Favor used the rest of her savings to pay David's school fees. She bought him new clothes. She gave him money for transportation. The day David left for university, he held Favor's hands and looked into her eyes. I will never forget what you have done for me. Never. I will make you proud. I promise. Favor watched David and Blessing get into the bus. She waved as the bus drove away. Her heart was full of hope, full of love. She believed in David. She believed in their future together. She did not know that everything was about to change. David had been in university for 3 weeks when Favor sent him his first money, 2,000 naira. It was not much, but it was all she could spare from selling water. Thank you, Favor, David said on the phone. You are my angel. I will never forget this. Every week after that, Favor sent money. Sometimes it was 1,000 naira, sometimes 2,000, sometimes even 3,000 when she had a good week. David always called to say thank you. He always told her he loved her. He always reminded her that when he finished school, he would marry her and take care of her forever. But after 2 months, Favor noticed something. Her bucket of water was not selling like before. The money she was making was getting smaller and smaller. She counted the money she had left from her savings. It was almost finished. If she kept sending David money every week, her business would die completely. Favor sat on her mattress that night and cried. What was she going to do? She could not stop sending David money. He needed it for food, for books, for transportation. But if she kept sending money, her business would collapse. The next day, Favor went out to look for work, any work, anything that would pay her money. She walked through the streets asking at shops and restaurants, but nobody needed a worker. Then she saw them. A group of men on the side of the road. They were carrying bricks, lifting heavy blocks, mixing cement, building a wall. Favor stopped and watched them work. She saw the man who looked like the boss giving them instructions. Favor walked up to the man. Please, sir, I need work. The man looked at her and laughed. Work? This is bricklaying work. This is not for women. This is hard work. I can do it, Favor said. Please, I am strong. I can learn. I just need money. The other men were laughing now, too. Look at this small girl, one of them said. She wants to carry bricks. But the boss man looked at Favor's face. He saw something there. Determination. Desperation. Okay, he said. I will give you a chance, but if you cannot do the work, you will leave. No payment. I will do the work, Favor said. I promise. That first day was the hardest day of Favor's life. The bricks were so heavy. Each one felt like it weighed more than her whole body. Her arms were shaking. Her back was hurting. Sweat was pouring down her face. The sun was so hot, she felt like she was going to faint. The men laughed at her. See? I told you this work is not for women. Go home, small girl. But Favor did not stop. She picked up another brick, and another, and another, even when her hands started bleeding, even when her whole body was screaming in pain. She did not stop. By the end of the day, Favor could barely walk. Her whole body was in pain. But the boss man came to her and put money in her hand. You did well today. Come back tomorrow. Favor looked at the money. 500 naira. It was not much, but it was something. She went home that night and could not even lift her arms to eat. Every day, Favor went to the building site. Every day, her body hurt more and more, but something strange happened. After 2 weeks, her body started getting used to it. Her arms got stronger. Her back got stronger. She learned how to lift the bricks properly. She learned how to mix the cement. She learned how to lay the bricks in straight lines. The men stopped laughing at her. They started respecting her. "This girl is strong," they said. "She works harder than some men." After 1 month, Favor was getting better pay. Sometimes she made 1,000 naira in a day. Sometimes even 1,500. It was good money, much better than selling water. Every week, Favor sent money to David. 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira, sometimes even 4,000 when she had a very good week. She kept some for herself to buy food and pay rent, but most of it went to David. David was always happy when the money came. "Thank you, my love," he would say on the phone. "You are the best thing that ever happened to me." But Favor noticed something. David's calls were getting shorter. Before, he would call her every day and they would talk for 1 hour. They would laugh. They would talk about their future. They would say sweet things to each other. Now, David only called once a week. And when he called, he was always in a hurry. "Thank you for the money, Favor. I have to go and read now. I will call you later." But he never called later. Meanwhile, at the university, something else was happening. David and Blessing were spending a lot of time together. They had classes together. They studied together in the library. They ate together in the cafeteria. At first, it was just friendship. They were both from Lagos. They both knew Favor. It made sense that they would stick together. But then something changed. One evening, Blessing came to David's room with her books. "Can we study together? I don't understand this pharmacology topic." David let her in and they sat on his bed with their books between them. David explained the topic. Blessing listened and asked questions, but as they studied, their hands touched. Just a small touch. But both of them felt something. "David," Blessing said softly, "can I tell you something?" "What is it?" "I like you. I have liked you for a long time now." David did not say anything. He just looked at Blessing. She was beautiful. Her skin was smooth. Her eyes were bright. She was educated like him. She understood the things he was learning. "But what about Favor?" David asked. "What about her?" Blessing said. "Favor is back in Lagos, selling water or doing whatever she is doing. You are here. I am here. We are both in school. We understand each other." David knew it was wrong. He knew Favor was the one who paid for his school. He knew Favor was the one sending him money every week. He knew he had promised to marry her. But Blessing was right here, right in front of him, and she was looking at him with those eyes. David leaned forward and kissed Blessing. From that day, everything changed. David and Blessing became a couple. They tried to hide it at first, but soon everyone in school knew. They walked together holding hands. They sat together in class. They were always together. One day, Blessing said to David, "You know we are wasting money paying for 2 rooms. Why don't we just share 1 room? We can split the rent and save money." David thought about it. It made sense. Why pay for 2 rooms when they were together all the time anyway? "Okay," David said. "Let's do it." They found a bigger room and moved in together. David and Blessing were now living like husband and wife, sharing a bed, cooking together, doing everything together. But every week, David's phone would ring. It was Favor calling to check on him. "How is school, David?" "School is fine, Favor, very fine." "Are you eating well?" "Yes, I am eating well." "I sent you 3,000 naira yesterday. Did you get it?" "Yes, I got it. Thank you so much. You are my angel." Then David would hang up and go back to Blessing. They would use Favor's money to buy food. They would use it to pay for the room they were sharing. They would use it to go out and have fun. Blessing knew where the money was coming from. She knew Favor was the one sending it. But she did not care. "Favor is doing it because she wants to," Blessing would say. "Nobody is forcing her." Months passed, then a year, then 2 years. David and Blessing were in their 3rd year of university. They were living together happily. Everyone thought they were a couple. Nobody knew about Favor back in Lagos. Well, almost nobody. There was one girl in their class who was also from Lagos. She knew Favor. She had seen David and Favor together before. She was confused when she saw David and Blessing together. One day she asked David, "Are you not Favor's boyfriend, the girl who sells water in Surulere?" David's face changed. "I don't know what you are talking about. I don't know any Favor." The girl looked shocked. "What? But I saw you with her. She was the one who—" "You are mistaken," David said coldly. "You have confused me with someone else. I don't know any girl called Favor." The girl walked away, shaking her head. She could not believe what she had just heard. Meanwhile, in Lagos, Favor was still laying bricks. Her hands were rough now. Her skin was dark from the sun. Her body was hard and strong from carrying heavy things every day. She looked different from the soft girl who used to sell water, but she did not care how she looked. All she cared about was sending money to David every week. All she cared about was making sure David had everything he needed to become a doctor. Every night, Favor would come home tired and in pain. Blessing was never there anymore because she was in school with David. Favor was alone in the room. She would lie on her mattress and think about David. She would remember his promise. "When I finish school, I will marry you and take care of you forever." That promise was the only thing keeping her going. That promise was the reason she woke up every morning and went to carry bricks under the hot sun. That promise was her hope. But Favor did not know that David was already living with another woman. She did not know that David was using her money to take care of Blessing. She did not know that David had told people he did not even know who she was. She did not know that the man she was killing herself for had already betrayed her. The betrayal was complete. And Favor had no idea. It started small. The changes in David's calls. At first, Favor did not notice because she was too busy working and too tired to think deeply about anything. David used to call every day. Then it became every 3 days. Then once a week. Then only when he needed money. The first time it happened, Favor's phone rang on a Tuesday morning. She was at the building site carrying bricks. She quickly put down the bricks and answered. "David! I was waiting for your call. How are you?" "Favor, I need money urgently," David said. No greeting. No, how are you? Just straight to the point. "Oh, okay. How much do you need?" 5,000 naira. I have to pay for some textbooks today. "Okay, I will send it now. Thank you. I have to go." The call ended. Favor stood there holding her phone. Something felt wrong, but she could not explain what it was. Maybe David was just busy. Maybe he had a test. Maybe he was stressed. She sent the 5,000 naira. 2 weeks later, David called again. "Favor, I need 3,000 naira for transport. Send it today." "David, wait. How is school? How are you doing? We have not talked in 2 weeks. School is fine, everything is fine, just send the money. I am in a hurry." "But David, Favor, I said I am in a hurry. Send the money now, I will call you later." He hung up. Favor sent the money, but her heart was heavy. Something was definitely wrong. This was not the David she knew. This was not the man who promised to marry her. She tried calling him back. The phone rang and rang, but David did not pick up. She called again the next day. No answer. She called the day after. No answer. 3 days later, David called. "Why are you disturbing me with calls? I told you I am busy." "David, I just wanted to hear your voice. I miss you." "Favor, I am studying. I have exams coming. I cannot be on the phone talking every day. When I need to talk to you, I will call." "But David, before you used to..." Before is before. Now is different. I am in medical school. Do you know how hard it is? I have to read all the time. I cannot waste time on the phone. Favor felt tears coming to her eyes. "I am not wasting your time, David. I am your girlfriend. I am the one paying for your school. And I am grateful for that, David said. His voice was cold, hard. But being grateful does not mean I should be on the phone with you every day. I have to focus on my studies. He hung up again. From that day, Favor stopped calling David unless it was very important. She did not want to disturb him. She did not want to be a problem to him. She just kept working and sending money. Every week, money went to David. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, sometimes even 5,000. Favor was working herself to death laying bricks under the hot sun just to make sure David had everything he needed. Her body was breaking down. Her hands had permanent scars from the bricks. Her back hurt all the time. She had lost weight because she was not eating enough. All the money went to David, but David did not care. He took the money and used it to live comfortably with Blessing. They ate good food. They went to nice places. They bought new clothes, all with Favor's money. Years passed like this, Favor working and sending money, David taking the money and ignoring her, Blessing enjoying the benefits of Favor's suffering. Then came the final year. David and Blessing were about to graduate. They were going to become certified professionals. David was going to be a doctor. Blessing was going to be a pharmacist. David did not tell Favor about the graduation. He did not invite her. He did not even mention it. One day, Favor was scrolling through Instagram on her old cracked phone. She was lying on her mattress after a long day of work. Her body was in pain as usual. Then she saw it. A post from one of David's course mates. The picture showed David in a graduation gown. He was smiling big, holding his certificate. The caption said, "Congratulations to our newest doctor, Dr. David." Favor sat up so fast her head spun. Doctor? David was now a doctor? He graduated? She looked at the date of the post. The graduation was yesterday. Yesterday? And David did not tell her. He did not call her. He did not invite her. Favor's hands were shaking as she scrolled through more posts. There were many pictures of David at the graduation. In every picture, he was smiling, happy, living his best life. And in most of the pictures, Blessing was there beside him. Favor's heart was beating very fast. She tried to tell herself it was normal. Blessing was David's friend. They went to the same school. Of course she would be at his graduation. But something inside Favor knew. Something inside her was screaming that this was not normal. But she pushed the feeling down. She did not want to think bad thoughts about David. She called David's number. It rang once, then went to voicemail. She called again. Same thing. She called the second number David had given her. It was switched off. Favor felt panic rising in her chest. Why were David's phones not going through? Was he okay? Did something happen to him? Then she remembered. 2 months ago, David had mentioned that his phone was having problems. He said it was spoiling. He said sometimes it would just switch off by itself. That must be it, Favor said to herself. His phone is spoiling. That is why I cannot reach him. But deep down, a small voice was telling her that David was avoiding her, that David did not want to talk to her, that something was very, very wrong. Favor could not sleep that night. She kept thinking about David, about the graduation she was not invited to, about the phones that were not going through, about the way David had been treating her for the past 3 years. The next morning, Favor made a decision. She was going to surprise David. She was going to go to the school and congratulate him personally. After all, she was the one who paid for his education. She had every right to be there. Favor took the money she had been saving for rent and used it to buy a bus ticket. She bought a new dress, a simple yellow dress. It was the first new dress she had bought in 3 years. Everything else had gone to David. She looked at herself in the mirror. She looked so different from the girl she used to be. Her skin was darker from working in the sun. Her hands were rough and scarred. Her body was thin because she had not been eating well. But her eyes still had hope in them. Hope that when she saw David, everything would be okay again. The journey to the university took 4 hours. Favor arrived in the afternoon. She took a motorcycle to the address she knew, the lodge David was staying in, the lodge she had paid for with her bricklaying money. When she got to the lodge, she knocked on David's door. No answer. She knocked again. Still no answer. An old woman came out from the next room. "Are you looking for David?" "Yes, Ma, is he inside?" "No, he is not here. He and his wife went to the pavilion. There is still some graduation ceremony going on there." Favor's heart skipped. His wife? Yes, the fair girl. Blessing. They have been living together for almost 2 years now. Such a nice couple. Favor felt like someone had poured cold water on her. Wife? Living together? 2 years? "Thank you, Ma," Favor managed to say. Her voice was shaking. She asked for directions to the pavilion and started walking. Her legs felt heavy. Her heart was beating so hard she thought it would burst out of her chest. When she got to the pavilion, there were still people there. The ceremony was winding down, but some people were still taking pictures and celebrating. Favor stood at the entrance looking for David. Then she saw him. He was sitting at one of the tables in his graduation gown. And right next to him, sitting very, very close, was Blessing. Favor's breath caught in her throat. She watched as Blessing stood up and leaned over to David. Then Blessing kissed him on the cheek. Not a friendly peck. It was soft, loving, the kind of kiss you give to someone special. Blessing walked to the stage to collect an award. When she came back, David stood up and hugged her. Then he kissed her. On the lips. Right there in front of everyone. Favor felt like the ground was disappearing under her feet. She held onto the wall to stop herself from falling. Some people were looking at David and Blessing and smiling. "Such a beautiful couple," someone said. "They are so perfect together." Favor wanted to scream. She wanted to run to David and ask him what was going on, but her body would not move. She just stood there watching. Watching the man she had sacrificed everything for kissing another woman. Watching her friend Blessing betray her. Then Blessing turned and looked directly at Favor. Their eyes met. Blessing's face did not change. She did not look surprised. She did not look guilty. She just looked at Favor for a moment, then turned back to David and said something in his ear. David laughed. Blessing had seen her. Blessing knew she was there. But Blessing did not care. Favor stood there for 2 more hours watching David and Blessing. Watching them laugh together. Watching them hold hands. Watching them act like a couple. Like husband and wife. Finally, the ceremony ended. People started leaving. David and Blessing packed their things and started walking out. They were holding hands. David's arm was around Blessing's waist. Favor followed them at a distance. She watched them walk all the way back to the lodge. To the same lodge she had paid for. The same room she had sent money for every month. They went inside and closed the door. Favor stood outside for a few minutes. Her whole body was shaking. Her mind was telling her to leave, to run away, to not see what she was about to see. But her heart needed to know the truth. Her heart needed to see it with her own eyes. She walked up to the door and knocked. She heard movement inside, footsteps. Then the door opened. David stood there. He was no longer wearing his graduation gown. He was in a white singlet and shorts. His face was relaxed, happy. Then he saw who was at the door. All the color drained from David's face. His mouth opened, but no words came out. "Hello, David," Favor said quietly. Favor, what are you... How did you... Favor did not wait for permission. She pushed past David and walked into the room. What she saw made her heart stop completely. The room was decorated like a home. There were pictures on the wall. Pictures of David and Blessing together, smiling, hugging, kissing. There was a big bed in the corner. 1 bed, not 2. 1 bed that 2 people were obviously sharing. There were 2 pairs of slippers by the door, 1 large, 1 small. There were women's clothes hanging on the line, Blessing's clothes. On the small table there were 2 plates of food, 2 cups, 2 of everything. And sitting on the bed, looking at Favor with wide eyes, was Blessing. Favor looked at the room. She looked at the pictures. She looked at the bed. She looked at Blessing. She looked at David. Nobody said anything. The silence was so heavy it felt like it was crushing Favour's chest. Finally, Favour found her voice. It came out as a whisper. "So this is what you have been doing with my money?" David opened his mouth, but Favour raised her hand to stop him. "I worked under the sun. I carried bricks until my hands bled. I starved myself. I gave up everything. For you. For this." Tears were running down Favour's face now, but her voice was steady, strong. "And you?" Favour turned to Blessing. "My friend. My own friend. The person I shared my room with. This is how you repay me?" Blessing looked down at the floor. She could not meet Favour's eyes. David finally found his voice. "Favour, I can explain." "Explain what?" Favour's voice was rising now. "Explain how you have been lying to me for 3 years? Explain how you have been living with my friend as husband and wife while I was killing myself to send you money?" "It is not what you think." "Then what is it, David? Tell me." "What is it?" David could not answer. There was nothing to say. The evidence was everywhere. In the pictures on the wall, in the shared bed, in Blessing sitting there looking guilty. Favour looked around the room one more time. This room that her money had paid for. This room where David and Blessing had been living their happy life while she suffered. She turned to leave. She could not stay there one more second or she would break down completely. "Favour, wait." David reached out to grab her arm. Favour snatched her arm away. "Don't touch me, don't ever touch me again." She walked out of the room, out of the lodge, out into the street. Behind her, she heard David calling, "Favour! Favour, please! Let me explain." But Favour did not stop. She kept walking. Tears were blinding her, but she kept walking. Everything she had worked for, everything she had sacrificed, everything she had believed in. It was all a lie. David never loved her. He only loved her money. And the worst part, her own friend had betrayed her too. Favour walked into the night not knowing where she was going, not caring. Her heart was completely broken. To be continued. Thank you for watching this heartbreaking story. Now tell me honestly, if you were in Favour's position, what would you do next? Would you walk away or would you make them pay for what they did? Drop your answer in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. And don't miss part 2 to see what Favour does next. Subscribe now so you don't miss it.